So we finally know what Will Smith's response is, his initial reaction to what happened with Chris Rock. So there's some sources that are close to Will that want to remain anonymous that put out there what Will's initial response is to Chris Rock's comedy special. We got the details. But first, let me show you guys exactly what Will did, just to refresh your memory about why he chose not to apologize to Chris Rock right after the slap. You guys remember this here.
In your acceptance speech, I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
So I think Chris said that Will never called him. Another one was a year later the stand-up special happened, and Will never said that Chris called him. So where are we supposed to go with that?
So I will say to you,
here's the apology.
Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here.
I get the sense that Will is not really apologetic in this video. I get the sense that he's doing it because he got to do it, because those endorsements, that money, those movies, that clout, that respect, the way they look at Will has been sinking, and will continue to sink had he not said what he said. I think that Will doesn't regret 1 minute going up there on stage and slapping Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife. That's just how I feel about it personally. So now that we have that refresher in our memory, we'll take a look at what sources are saying about what Will feels about the clapback from Chris Rock. All eyes are on the slap heard around the world again at the Oscars 2023 looms this Sunday, guys. The Oscars is this Sunday, 1 year anniversary. Will Smith left embarrassed. Let me see. He was left embarrassed and hurt over Chris Rock's comments in his latest Netflix special. Embarrassed and hurt. You were embarrassed and you were hurt. See, I understand the embarrassed part because, you know, Chris Rock is flaming you on a public stage a year later after the situation happened of you emasculating him in front of the world. I get that part. But the fact that you put hurt here as well, hurt. You slapped a man, two black men engaging in violence. One from one side and the other side receiving. You slapped a man in front of the world, his constituents, fellow colleagues, people he looks up to, people that look up to him. That hurt. So I want to know what hurt you? You felt hurt as in like his jokes on you hurt your feelings? Bro, you slapped this man on stage, bro. You actually put physical violence on this man. You can't say I feel hurt. The perpetrator can't play victim. This is the clapback. The perpetrator can't play. You can't slap somebody, and then 3 months later they come back and they hit you with a freaking roast fest in the class and be like, I'm hurt. You slapped him in front of everybody at the school assembly. Of course you should be freaking embarrassed, but why you feel hurt, bruh? He's the one that should feel hurt. It doesn't work that way. You can't be a lion and then turn around and become a gazelle? Because that's a good word, animal. You can't do that. You can't play both sides. That's not how it should work, bro. You either got to roar or just keep roaring or just meow like a domestic cat. That's how we doing it. Look. So it goes on into more detail. The famed funny man used his latest stand-up special to get back at him. Yeah, among the myriad of 2020 business, selective outrage is what triggered him. There was no stone left unturned. Here's the source right here. Here's what blows me away. Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family in his Netflix special. A source told them. The insider went on adding that Will and Jada have seen comments about it. It said they didn't watch it, though. Will apologized to Chris and would like to let it go. Would like for Chris to let it go. I'm sure you would like that, Will. I'm sure the Will Smith. You know what? Let me stop saying Will. Jada. I know, Jada, you would like it to be gone. I know that you're using Will as a puppet. He's speaking on behalf of his master, the Sith Lord that is Jada Pinkett. Jada, I know you want this to be let go, but that's not how this shit works. People heal and they get their justice or revenge, whatever you want to call it, in their own way. And seems like Chris Rock is just one of them slow-paced motherfuckers, bro. Sometime it might take you a whole calendar school year and a summer break before Chris Rock decides to go ahead and hit you with this clapback of comedy. Jada, he's not operating by your timeline. He's operating by his timeline. He will stop when he feels it's time to stop. He will let it go when he feels like it's time to let it go. You know what I'm saying? You need to be telling that shit to Will. You need to call Will into your freaking Empress room. Will, let it go. Can't hold you back anymore. Let it go. Will is the one that needs to let it go. Jada, you're the one that needs to let it go. Let Chris have his moment to clap back at you. And then it'll just organically dissipate. Because we're not going to be clearly Chris is not going to spend the rest of the year roasting on y'all. He said what he said, and to be honest with you, I think he's not going to make any more jokes about getting slapped in his comedy specials. So I think I don't even think he's not going to do an interview. He talked about that. So this is pretty much it. I think maybe he'll mention y'all in a comedy special, like a little one-liner, like Dave Chappelle did when Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage, right? And it was like, Will Smith. No, Chris Rock came out and was like, is that Will Smith? Because Dave Chappelle was actually attacked on stage like Chris was attacked on stage. But the difference is it was the Oscars and Chris didn't do nothing, and you attacked Dave Chappelle on his stage at the Hollywood Bowl and you got stomped out by 36 people. So what do you guys feel about this situation? I feel like this is arrogant for you to tell Chris. We would like Chris to let it go. And you guys said you haven't even seen the stand-up special. People were telling you what was said. He didn't watch it, but we had people telling him what Chris said. Of course, if you tell him what Chris said versus actually seeing the stand-up, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt worse by hearing someone tell you versus actually watching it. If you actually watched it, you will see that it wasn't that bad. He kept it a buck. He said it's, in my opinion, he went soft on you. He should have went way harder. If it was me, if it was Dave Chappelle, if it was Cat Williams, if it was freaking almost any other comedian, you and your family would have been destroyed. That's keeping it a buck. So I feel like it seems like Chris Rock has blessed you, has pardoned you. You know what I'm saying? He pardoned you. So just let this be. Y'all need to focus on moving on. Chris will move on whenever he feels like it. It looks like he has moved on, but the clapback had to come. And hopefully he won't talk about you guys no more. For your sake, right? But for us, we kicking back watching this shit like, what's next? Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I'm Jody Joe, and I'm out this thing. Deuces.